Mental Health Monday on Radio City Talk with Mick Coyle.
Radio City Talk.
So my name's Mick, it's Mental Health Extra for another week. We've got Jake Mills in the studio from Chasing the Stigma. Jake, it's great to see you.
Thank you for having me again on a lovely day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and there's been a Mental Health Minute going out today. Now, you and I, we did like a 24-hour mental health show, right? So sometimes... maybe our listeners might not understand that actually not everyone talks about mental health in the way that we do talk about mental health on Radio City Talk. So sometimes if we repeat or find ourselves repeating things for Mental Health Awareness Week, that's just because not everybody is as clued up as our listeners are starting to be clued up about mental health. So if we repeat anything we've already said, that's just because nationally there are other things going on for Mental Health Awareness Week. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, just that everyone's slower than us, basically. Everyone's behind us.
Well, maybe. But you were on national TV this week. Yeah. Speaking with Lorraine.
I was, yeah.
How was she?
She was lovely. It was only through a video link. But it was nice. I've been on the Lorraine show before, but Lorraine wasn't on it. It was with Kate Garraway. And at the beginning of our last interview, Lorraine claimed that it was her. It wasn't. I remember speaking to you last time. Okay, I can't. But no, it's really good. It was following the Coronation St storyline, but they wanted to kind of get me back in because I think it was 4 years ago when I first went on, and that was very much at the very beginning of my kind of journey of recovery. It was on the way home from the Lorraine show last time. On the way home from London that I decided to set up a charity, and that was because of the response that I got from that interview 4 years ago. And it was perfect timing really, because it was like less than a week after I'd just got married, and we've obviously got a little boy as well. And it was kind of, I think they were really happy with that as kind of a message of hope as well from that, where I was at that point 4 years ago to where I've come through to now.
I noticed that. Now, you weren't here last week. We had a bank holiday as well, so the show was thrown off slightly. Married. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Photos were very nice, but they sent the photos to Lorraine and not to you, right? So
that's right. Yeah. So we've only seen the photos on Sky Plus.
So even I saw the photos.
You
before
saw the photos, yeah, because I couldn't see them. You see, because I was on a video link, I couldn't actually see them, so I had to get it on catch up.
So that's quite funny. And just before we talk about the Coronation St thing and the angle on that one, which affects Chasing the Stigma and the Hub of Hope, just tell us about your new biggest fan. This was a taxi driver who was taking you to the studios.
Yeah, God love him. He picked me up after the thing, and he mistaken me doing an interview for ITV as me having an interview for a job with ITV. And I just I don't like disappointing people because it makes me feel so awkward, and so I just went along with it. And I basically spent the whole journey telling him why I want to work in TV and how much I hope I get the job. And he was so encouraging and he was so lovely about it. And even at the end of this, I thought, I know he's going to say something. So I filmed myself at the end getting out the cab, and he was like, "It's been lovely speaking to you and good luck." And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And it just felt so horrible. And then the Lorraine show actually tweeted me and said, "You're hired, you've got the job." So it's a happy ending. He's going to be delighted when he finds out.
See, I like to think that guy then popped over somewhere for a coffee, and then he saw you on the TV, and he went, "He's done all that straight away, straight onto the box."
Yeah, he's got it. Well in, lad. Well in. You've done it.
There was a girl on social media once. Her name was Lucy, but when she was going on to one of these digital taxi services, it came up with a double C. So the taxi driver spent ages asking her about why her name was Lucky. And rather than just go, "No, it's actually Lucy," she just said that her mum was Chinese and the look was a really important thing within their family. She got far too into the conversation.
See, I think this is related to anxiety because I used to work in a call centre, and the security guard called me Gary, and I never ever corrected him because I felt so bad that how he would feel. And I remember, they were going off on one now, but I remember a fella called and he said, "Oh, I know where you're from." I went, "Oh, is it that obvious?" And he went, "Yeah, Newcastle." And instead of going, "Oh no," I went, "Oh, aye." You got that one, pet, and I just had to go along with it. And at the end, he just went, "I know you're from Liverpool, mate. Don't worry." And he just killed me off.
Social anxiety, it plays on us all. Absolutely, it does. Jake, this week there's the launch of the "Where's Your Head At" campaign through Bauer Media. It's the wider organisation that Radio City and Radio City Talk are part of, but loads of different people involved in this one, including Heat Magazine, Kiss FM based in London, Empire Magazine as well, and also Natasha Devon, who's contributed, of course, to this programme before. And it's all about advocating positive mental health from employers' point of view, and actually encouraging people to get a mental health first aider within all workplaces and colleges. There's actually a petition which is included within that as well that people are able to sign. The official launch petition is actually tomorrow, but we're giving you the heads up on it a little bit ahead of time as well. where'syourheadat.org. This idea that a mental health first aider would work within a workplace or college wouldn't be, a psychiatric nurse, but actually it would be somebody where you could go, I should go and speak to Jake about this, or I should go and speak to whoever it would be, that mental health first aider, that point of contact.
Yeah, and it's about that idea of health, whether it's mental or physical health. You have a first aider if somebody falls or cuts themselves or anything happens, that person who you can go to and you can ask them for advice. And that's exactly the same for mental health. It's just somebody you can ask for advice, somebody who will know what to do in that situation. It doesn't have to be a crisis point. It's probably not for crisis point. It's for intervention, prevention, early stages, so someone's there who you can go to and you can get help.
I think Lynn Collins from the Northwest TUC, speaking as part of Mental Health Monday this week, was saying that actually employers do have a duty of care towards their employees, and they're not going to let somebody go onto a building site without wearing the right boots and the right hat. And yet for some, and I think we saw the stats as part of the 24-hour marathon, for some, the actual risk of suicide is actually greater than the risk of physical injury for people who work within certain sectors, including the building industry. And it's something the building industry trying to get its head around. It seems obvious, doesn't it, to have those checkpoints, those warning signs in place.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes though of how far we have to go. Okay, yeah, we have come a long way. But you'll hear all the time it's health and safety gone mad, but that's because people are saying that health and safety is so over the top for everything physically, and there's absolutely nothing to do with mental. And that's why I think it just speaks volumes of just how far we do have to go to have that real parity between physical and mental health. where'syourheadat.org, or just take a look at the hashtag Where's Your Head At. You get loads of information about this. Loads of people are coming on board with it as well. At the same time, because it's Mental Health Awareness Week, there's been this Mental Health Minute. And again, you and I have been doing this mental health stuff for quite some time, but actually today 300 plus radio stations around the country played this minute, which talked about mental health. And there's a particular line which we'll come to at the end, but loads of celebrity voices on it. We're going to replay the Mental Health Minute. So this went out at 10:59 right across the country, including here on Radio City Talk.
Right now, for the very first time, radio stations all over the UK are coming together to broadcast the same thing at the same time. Hundreds of stations, millions of listeners.
Because no matter who you are or what station you listen to, news or new wave, politics or punk, Gershwin or Lady Gaga.
All of us have moments when life is tough, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to. Because taking care of your mental health is important for everyone. Whether you listen to songs by Prince on the radio to get out of your head, or you're an actual Prince on the radio.
Just starting a conversation on mental health could make all the difference. When you talk about something, you have less reason to fear it.
If you do have the courage to speak about it, you really can make things better.
This simple message can make a big difference. That's why radio is coming together today to talk about mental health.
How are you feeling today? It's okay to say.
How are you feeling today? It's okay to say. Dame Judi Dench there. That's a good line, that, isn't it?
That is a good line. Do you know when you said, a mental health minute, I thought, yeah, that's a better idea than 24 hours. Why didn't we come up with that? Why don't we say, let's do a minute and then that's it, it's done.
Dame Judi Dench, Jessica Ennis-Hill, William and Harry, David Harewood, who's the actor, Lady Gaga. Not a bad mix of people there, touching all the boxes in terms of different people and different types of people within society.
Exactly, it backs up that idea. Everyone has mental health, and yeah, these people are role models, and that's what's so important, is to be able to tap into that, to say, if these people can talk about it, then anybody can.
Yeah, but how are you feeling today? It's okay to say it falls in line with that thing that we've talked about many times, which is if you do start talking about it, how do people respond? And maybe that's the focus of the next stage in the campaign, if you like. But that's such an important thing that you think, well, okay, right, I've made a decision to say something. The perception of the reaction is key. We don't know what that perception might be. We don't know what that reaction might be. But also engaging with people enough to know how to react as well. That's got to be part of this too, hasn't it? Because if someone goes, "Oh, right, thanks for saying," that person's maybe got something off their chest, but maybe that might have confirmed to them maybe some of the stigmas and stereotypes that they were expecting.
Yeah, I was going to say more so, but I don't know whether that would be fair to say, but definitely is equally as important. When I get people coming to me and saying that they're worried about somebody and they say, well, what advice would you give me to approach them? And the first thing I say to them is before you approach them, before you ask them are they okay, find out the help that's available, find out the supports, find out the services, find out the routes to help before you even ask them. Because if you find that out first when you do ask them and they come back with an answer of I'm not feeling good, or I'm feeling suicidal, or I'm feeling this way, you'll at least will have a bit of a head start to say, okay, well, I know that we can go here or we can look here. And that's exactly what Chasing the Stigma and the Hub of Hope was set up for. It was to say it's not just about the people who need it themselves, it's about the people, the listening ears, the shoulders to cry on, the people you're going to for help. How are they going to react? Because a lot of the time you can go to somebody and if they haven't ever had that conversation themselves, or they don't know what to do, sometimes that can be one step forward and 5 steps back. It's important that, and that's what this idea of mental health is everybody's business. It's not, and Mental Health Awareness Week is not a week for the sick. It's a week for everybody to be aware of what mental health is, which is what we all have. It's not a bad thing. It can suffer from time to time, but mental health is not a negative or a bad thing. It's just health. So it's really important to have that conversation with the other people as well.
Whenever we do one of the podcasts and we upload it to our sort of streams, we always have the bottom of the description. If you want to find out more about mental health organisations near you, follow the Hub of Hope, which obviously connects people to those particular and signposts to those particular organisations. Because we kind of have this thing where people might hear a story and then go, right, what am I supposed to do with that one? But actually finding these organisations and then seeing the descriptions of the sort of thing that they do points people in the right direction. And actually there's a cast iron example of this, isn't there, from the back of the Coronation St conversations with Jonathan Harvey we had as part of the podcast last week, who wrote Wednesday night's episode. But of course the Shane Ward episode, Aidan Character episode from the Bank Holiday Monday, was the moment where his part ended in terms of the telling of that story. We didn't actually see a suicide on screen, but actually the Hub of Hope then got people coming to it looking for those organisations.
Yeah, and massively so. Overnight from when the Coronation St episode aired on the Wednesday night to after I got back from doing the Lorraine show, so probably around 12 o'clock, there was 1,400 new people, individual, unique users who'd never been on there before had access to Hub of Hope. That was a 300% increase from the month before, overnight. That, for me, that was 1,400 people who are seeking help, 1,400 people who are looking for that chance, 1,400 people who might find something that they didn't know existed before. And although that's like a really good thing from our point of view, from the charity, and having that option there for people, for me as well, it speaks volumes of how important that episode was, how important we've spoke about this before, and we had a bit of a rant a couple of weeks ago about the responsibility of the media, but that's shown how if you use it right, if you do it correctly, if you do it dignified the way that they did and kind of sensitively, that you can have this conversation, you can get this out into millions and millions of houses to say this is a real life story, but is the help that's available, and 1,400 people accessed that help that overnight.
Jonathan Harvey, when he was on the programme, was talking about working alongside Calm and the Samaritans to sort of check scripts, check that the right stories were being told. It was interesting, he said as part of the interview that he did on the programme, which people can still listen to and download from the podcast feed, he said that he wrote a line where someone was saying, well, how did he do it? And he'd written within the script, doesn't matter how he did it. And for him, he felt that was an important line to put in to sort of say it doesn't really matter how these things are happening, and it's also not going to be a template or an instruction manual to anything. The fact is, it has happened, and for whatever reason, that wasn't included in the final script. And I just wanted maybe your thoughts on that as a line. I thought it struck me as a strong line. That.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it wasn't kept in it because and when I've spoken about the episode before, the thing that I was really impressed with was that they were putting lines like that in, so they were able, the way that it was done was a lot about the reaction, and I thought it was really, really good the way that they included things like one of the characters was saying that he was selfish for taking his own life. What a selfish thing to do. But that was really good because that's what a lot of people would say and what people would think, and what they done is they included that line, but then they had somebody come back and say no, it's not, blah, and explain. So I am surprised that they didn't include that because I kind of like that as a line in it. But again, it's about Coronation Street, or soaps in general, are meant to reflect normal life, and I know like it kind of gets pulled to these exaggerations, but the conversations are meant to be what the people on the street would have. So I thought it was really good that they did include what they did, and yeah, I would have included that myself actually.
Yeah, I mean the show's only 45 minutes long or whatever it was. So I mean there'd be reasons for getting things in and getting the right lines out there. But it was an interesting conversation. If you type in Mental Health Monday podcast into any search engine, you can download all the previous episodes of Mental Health Monday. You got loads of stuff going on at the moment for Mental Health Awareness Week, and people will be spotting things down at the Baltic.
Yeah,
Quarter District.
Yeah, so in the we've teamed up with the people at the Baltic Markets, Independent Liverpool, and the Press Brothers Coffee at the Baltic Market. They're going to be using coffee cup sleeves all this week, with Chasing Stigma and Hub of Hope logos on there. I think they're gonna have like a charity buckets as well. But basically, they're using that as an opportunity to push that message out all this week to say everybody's got mental health, make sure you look after yours, know about the support that's around, know about the help that's available, and nobody ever has to be alone. So we're really, really grateful. We're really excited to team up with them because I think you spoke to Phil Bridges on the show yesterday. You talked about cool and how cool the My Map is, and the Baltic Market is cool. It's a cool place, so it's good for us to be associated with something cool for once.
Cool. Yeah, you could have gone like you, Mick. Phil Bridges, the My Map is very cool.
Could have, but
Jay, congratulations on getting married.
Thank you very much.
Do you think that sometimes that people, when they go, Jake was in a very difficult place from his mental health point of view, but now he's married. Sometimes I wonder whether or not you ever think that in terms of your own personal journey, actually you getting married and becoming a dad has become a huge part of sort of how your life has grown away from where you were 4 or 5 years ago. Do you think sometimes there's the danger where people go, oh, you got married, right? Problems solved now. Once you get married, once you got kids, that'll be all your issues that are solved. It's your own personal journey. But when I notice whenever you get sort of introduced on national TV, it's always like, now things were bad, but then he got married and he had a kid and everything's fine.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But also at the same time, people were asking me, well, how did you get better and how did you do that? And I was like, well, actually, I didn't get any help. I just kind of done it myself. So every single personal journey is different, and one person's recovery wouldn't necessarily work for another person's. The getting the married part was probably the most stressful part of that recovery, and it's the after being married bit, which is the nice bit now. But for me, what it is more so is that was the life I always wanted, a life that I didn't think I would have. So for me, it wasn't necessarily he got married, so now he's better. It was proof that there was a future, an alternative that I could never imagine, and now I'm living it. And yeah, it's pretty good, pretty proud moment actually to be able to say that's happened.
Jake Mills from Chasing the Stigma, thank you for your time. Hubofhope.co.uk, you want to find out more information about the hub and mental health services near to you. Right, I'm going back into daddlehood for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Oh, talk about anxieties and mental health, sleep.
That might be a Mick Coyle case study special. But we'll see how we're doing. Thanks for your time, mate. I'll speak to you again soon.
Good luck.
Mental Health Monday with Mick Coyle.
Radio City Talk.